What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another Crypto Sherpa show where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on and what is going on with Jpmorgan, the banks, and just the crypto community. Because this started off last week when Jpmorgan said they were going to blacklist or get rid of Microstrategy off of, what was it, the MICA? Was that what it was? Let's see, I have the new article for you on it. Was it the major market index? I think that's what it was, the MSI. So yeah, they were going to remove the MSI on there, and now there's been so much backlash starting off of that. And then we have Jpmorgan or Chase shutting down Jack Mallers' account. So we're going to dive right on into that. But what's going on with Bitcoin's price first? We had a nice little pump back up this weekend. We are now at 87,000 from the low of 80,000 we hit last week. That was but is it over? Is this just a dead cat bounce? Are we still going to experience some extreme hurt? Well, looks like we found the bottom, or we're holding the 88,000 level or top right now. So we got to see if we get past that. Some say let's see, who was it? I think it was Anthony Pompliano on CNBC saying we have experienced the bottom. Now we're rounding up. So that's just one person saying the feeling of how the markets are, but there's still a lot of people out there still claiming or feeling we're in a bear market trajectory. And then so it's this could be a dead cat bounce where we see a nice little increase. Then we go back down to 80. So who knows what's going to be playing on. But let's hear what's happening with Jpmorgan, Strategy, and everyone else right now. So first up, again, Strategy and Bitcoin supporters call for a boycott of Jpmorgan. So the tensions erupt following the news. Strategy and other crypto treasury companies would likely be excluded from the major market indexes. So there is a huge boycott going on right now. And I believe even Grant Cardone was the one who even tweeted this out earlier. I canceled my Jpmorgan account and moved my entire account to Wells Fargo. Also, don't use Chase credit card if you're worried about fraud. More to come. So hashtag boycott Jpmorgan. Close your account, move your money, tell your friends. So this could be pretty bad for Jpmorgan, but let's continue on. So the backlash against the financial services company Jpmorgan from the Bitcoin community and supporters of Bitcoin treasury company Strategy continued to swell on Sundays as calls to boycott Jpmorgan grew. Now, the anger from the Bitcoin community followed news that the MSCI, formerly Morgan Stanley Capital International, an index company that sets criteria for index inclusion, is likely to exclude crypto treasury companies from its indexes in January of 2026. Now, Jpmorgan shared the MSCI news in a research note. I just pulled a $20 million from Chase and suing them for credit card malfeasance, real estate investor and Bitcoin advocate Grant Cardone said in a response to call to boycott the financial service giant. And that was, again, the tweet we just saw right here. But crash Jpmorgan and buy Strategy and Bitcoin, said a Bitcoin advocate, Max Kaiser. And he said that as the online boycott movement gained even more steam. Now here's a tweet from Fred Krueger. The enemy has a name. It's the banking system. Take a look at the chart of Jpmorgan since the great financial crisis. It's been straight up for the last 15 years. Jpmorgan has been consolidating its power as the head of banking crime syndicate through both Obama terms, Trump 1.0, and Biden. The Fed works with JPM. They hated Bitcoin, DeFi, and stablecoins. They quietly architected Choke Point 1.0 and 2.0. Now they see Bitcoin as vulnerable, and they are putting the screws on master. Now against this, we have Trump, Besant, and potentially new Fed in May completely under Treasury control. Now Bitcoin as a strategic asset, this is going to be an epic battle. So this, again, the bear market we are still feeling may not be over. So maybe a little dead, maybe we might have one more dead cat bounce where we go back down to 82, 80 again. Who knows? Maybe in previous all-time highs of 76. We never know. But again, there is momentum that everyone's waiting for right now. So this is going to be an epic battle to see. Now, the exclusion of crypto treasury companies from stock indexes could trigger an automatic sell-off of their shares from funds and asset managers that are mandated to buy specific types of financial instruments and could negatively impact crypto markets. Now, Strategy founder Michael Saylor breaks his silence in response to MSCI. So Strategy entered the NASDAQ 100, a stock market index of the 100 largest companies by market capitalization on the tech-focused stock exchange. And that was back in December of 2024. Now, this allowed Strategy to reap in the benefits of passive capital flows from funds and investors holding the NASDAQ 100. Now, Strategy founder Michael Saylor responded to the proposed MSCI policy change on Friday, saying that Strategy is not a fund, not a trust, and not a holding company. And we did cover that tweet, but funds and trusts passively hold assets. Holding companies sit on investments, recreate structure, issue, and operate, Saylor said, adding that Strategy is a Bitcoin-backed structured financial company. So, again, so he had quite a bit to say about it. But the proposed MSCI listing criteria change would force any treasury company with 50% or more of its balance sheet in crypto to lose its index status. Now, these companies would then face one of two choices: reduce their crypto holdings to be below the threshold to qualify for the index inclusion, or lose the passive capital flows from the market index. A sudden sell-off from the crypto treasury companies impacted by the proposed MSCI change could force digital asset price down, according to analysts. So, Jpmorgan just throwing some power there, and nobody likes that going on. Even Senator Cynthia Lummis was at this one right here. Just Senator Cynthia Lummis slams Jpmorgan for its anti-crypto policies. So policies like Jpmorgan undermine confidence in traditional banks and send the digital asset industries overseas. So it does. It throws a retail space that's like the confidence in traditional banking. It kind of goes away now. It's like, well, you want to keep an account with Jpmorgan Chase? Well, after this next article where Jack Mallers clashed with Jpmorgan over Bitcoin accounts closures, you may want to move. So be like Grant Cardone. Maybe get your money out of Chase and switch over to a new account, maybe Wells, maybe a credit union. But Jack Mallers isn't alone in having his account closed. Even I had my account closed with Chase. Like, this was 2 years ago, so they are still doing it. But let's hear about this more. So Jack Mallers clashes with Jpmorgan over Bitcoin and account closures. So Jack Mallers challenges Bitcoin after his Chase account got closed, linking the move to a wider pressure on Bitcoin and crypto banking. And this man totally even just framed his work. So Mallers, Jpmorgan Chase threw me out of the bank. Strike CEO says his account was terminated without any detailed explanation, but instead of getting mad, he framed it. So I should have did that with mine, but actually don't even think I got a letter. I just had to go to the bank and find out. It's like, hey, why can't I pay my bills? So, but let's hear about this clash going on. So, Strike CEO Jack Mallers escalates tensions with Jpmorgan after the bank closed his account, citing concerning activity that may violate the Bank's Secrecy Act. The closure revealed on X came despite Mallers' attempts to clarify the situation with Chase Bank. He also highlighted that his father's bank with Chase for over 30 years, calling the debanking bizarre. Moreover, the closure follows allegations from Senator Rob Wyden that Jpmorgan executives all the way to the top enabled Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking network. Wyden claimed that the top staff reporting directly to CEO Jamie Dimon coached Epstein on handing large suspicious cash withdrawals. Now, Mallers also fired back at Dimon's previous comment, calling Bitcoin a pet rock. During an interview, he said, "I don't care what Jeffrey Epstein's bankers thinks about the negative use cases of crypto." He emphasized Bitcoin's performance, noting it rose 160% last year against the dollar. Now, consequently, Mallers framed Jpmorgan's skepticism as irrelevant, highlighting crypto's resilience despite criticism from traditional financial figures. Now, additionally, he linked the debanking to the broader crypto industry pressure, referencing Operation Choke Point 2.0, a purported Biden-era strategy targeting crypto executives' bank access under regulatory pretenses. Now, Chase account closures spark industry debate. Mallers revealed that Chase never specified the concerning activity, prompting account closure. Now, this lack of transparency intensified criticism, with crypto advocates arguing banks selectively target blockchain businesses. So besides Mallers, Tether CEO Paolo Argano stated that the closure is for the best, suggesting institutional friction may benefit the crypto ecosystem. Moreover, Bo Hines, former Trump advisor, warns that Chase appears unaware that Operation Choke Point is over-implying ongoing scrutiny on crypto enterprises. Now, the account issue intersects with Mallers' other ventures. He heads 21, a Bitcoin treasury firm backed by Tether and Bitfinex, positioning it against Michael Saylor's crypto strategy company out there. So Jack Mallers is really big in this space. I don't know how you cannot know this guy. I guess if you're not in the crypto space, you'd be like going, wait, who is this kid? Yeah, he owns like one of the largest crypto treasury companies that can come on par with Microstrategy. So that's really everything I have going on against like Jpmorgan. So the war is on, guys. Like, banks are kind of freaking out about it, and yeah, this may not be looking too good for Jpmorgan. So I don't know how Chase is going to react to all this, because yeah, you don't want to mess with the Bitcoin community. Like, we saw Stake and Shake in the Bitcoin community when they asked, "Do we accept Ethereum?" And they were like, "No, no, no, we'll ban you if you don't." And that changed their mind pretty fast. And you may not want to believe it, but Bitcoiners also definitely had a say during the presidential election of 2024. Like, if it wasn't for Bitcoiners, who knows what could have happened? But Bitcoiners definitely have a big say in this world. So what is Jpmorgan going to do? Well, that's to wait and find out. And why is it like a disco in here? I just noticed these lights going on in the background. It's like, I usually like leaving out a simple color, but I have so many different remotes. Hopefully I can get it. Let's see, it's not that one. Maybe it's this one. Let's do green. No, that's not it. Yeah, this is like totally just throwing me off. So it's like, come on, just be one color. That's not it. That's the thing with the game. It sucks. You have all these remotes, and it's like, which is which? What can I use it? So yeah, great way to end our Jpmorgan news, but there is still so much stuff going on. And I probably just have to fix this. The cloth. One more time. No, it's not working. Okay, whatever. Let's just continue on with the news, guys. So what else is going on? So that was, yeah, everyone's talking about Jpmorgan. Price is still speculative, but let's also point out some lucky solo Bitcoin miners out there who are still winning. Like, how many have we had this year? 5, 6, 7? So yeah, having these tiny Bitcoin miners just to keep running in your house, like, takes very little energy. It's kind of like your entry point in the lottery. It's like you probably have a better chance in solving a block than actually winning the lottery. And looks like some lucky people actually do solve one. And that's what this article is going over. So an extremely lucky solo Bitcoin miner beats massive odds to win $266,000. Now, I'm sure some of you out there are going, oh, only 266. I remember the last Bitcoin miner guy who solved it got 300,000, but that's when Bitcoin was at its all-time high. But hey, $266,000, that's not a bad win. So yeah, a solo Bitcoin miner earned 3.146 Bitcoin, worth $266,000, with a computing power of only 1.2 terahashes a second, beating massive odds. Because yeah, this is such low odds that you are going to solve a block with that energy. But a solo Bitcoin miner hit the jackpot on Friday, earning the 3.146 Bitcoin, worth roughly $266,000 after solving block 924,569 on the Bitcoin blockchain, with only a tiny fraction of the computational power typically needed to win a block reward. Now, the miner, who is believed to be operating a hobby-grade machine, struck gold with a hash rate of roughly 1.2 terahashes per second, which is a speck of dust in the industry dominated by industrial scale operations, producing exahashes and 1 quintillion hashes per second. Now, CK Pool creator Con Kalivas announced the win on X, congratulating the extremely lucky miner and noting just how improbable the event was. He estimated that the odds translate to about 1.2 million to 1 per day at the miner's reported hash rate. Now, the miner received 3.125 Bitcoin from the block subsidiary, plus 0.021 Bitcoin in transaction fees, bringing the total to just over 3.146 Bitcoin, according to on-chain data. And here was CK Pool devs just congratulating him on the 308th solo block at Solo Mining Pool. And so, yeah, so congratulations. This is a great way to enter the holiday season, because, come on, like with the rest of the, as we're heading into Thanksgiving, if Bitcoin at least holds its price and stays steady, then we're all good. But like going into Thanksgiving, you may have like the family going, oh, what's going on with Bitcoin? You got this guy coming to the table. Oh yeah, I just solved a block last week. I just earned 266,000. So that was probably quite the Thanksgiving dinner table. But let's continue on. So solo Bitcoin miners see more wins in 2025. So despite the industrial mining landscape, 2025 has become an impressive year for solo miners. According to the mempool space, 13 solo mined blocks have been found through CK Pool this year, averaging just over 1 a month. Last month, a solo Bitcoin miner secured a $347,455 reward after independently solving block 920,440, earning 3.125 Bitcoin plus the fees entirety on their own. Now, earlier in July, another miner with just 2.3 petahashes of power claimed a full block reward with similar wins while recorded in June, March, and back in February. Now, Bitcoin miners have been pivoting toward AI, so major miners are seeking new revenue sources beyond just Bitcoin mining, especially after the latest halving tightening their margins. Now, CleanSpark has already begun shifting into AI-focused data centers, and that's a move that sent its stock up 13% after the expansion was first announced in October. Now, Terra Wolf also plans to raise $500 million through convertible note offerings to help finance the construction of new data center campuses in Abernathy, Texas. I hope I'm saying that city correct. But yeah, so a lot of miners out there pivoting to AI just to seek more profits going on right there with that expansion. Because again, the network's hash rate keeps getting stronger, and sometimes like Bitcoin mining and AI data centers are kind of competing right now. So the miners have the equipment and the capacity, so some of them are kind of like switching over, not entirely, but they're moving over. And again, yeah, TerraWolf, and who was that other company that started doing it? It was CleanSpark. So those two mining companies that already started, like kind of switching over to the AI sector. But yeah, that's still a win-win. I think AI is going to definitely help progress Bitcoin and crypto and blockchain, even just us in general, into the future even a lot faster. So yeah, but congratulations to that very lucky solo Bitcoin miner. Now, speaking of mining still, looks like China is re-emerging as the world's third largest Bitcoin miner, despite its 2021 ban. So let's hear about this article and hear what's going on before we take a commercial break. So Bitcoin mining operations are growing silently in China despite a 2021 ban by the Chinese government. Now, individuals and corporate miners are mining Bitcoin and other crypto amid the AI-driven data center boom. Now, 4 years ago, China dominated Bitcoin mining and operations, as well as sales of mining machines. Now, this latest development has caught the eyes of traders, suggesting that China is still focusing on its Bitcoin mining. Now, big Bitcoin mining news, China makes a comeback. Now, China ranks third in Bitcoin mining, accounting for about 14% global hash rate until last month, according to a Reuters report on November 24th. Now, miners have reemerged in low-cost energy surplus regions like Xinjiang and Sichuan. Now, the hash rate index, which tracks Bitcoin mining activities, showed a rising market share. Now, notably, China banned all crypto trading and mining in 2021, citing threats to the country's financial stability and its energy conservation. Private miners are consuming surplus electricity for crypto mining, and new mining projects are also under construction in places where electricity is cheap. Now, Canaan plays a crucial role in Bitcoin mining resurgence. So Bitcoin mining rig maker Canaan recorded new domestic sales in China. Now, China contributed to Canaan sales increased more than 50% during Q2 of 2025. And recently, Canaan launched its next generation Avalon A16 series and the Bitcoin mining machine. Now, the model delivers a 300 terahash per second at 12.8 joules a terahash, combining the high computational power with industry-leading energy efficiency. Now, Bitcoin mining's rebound in China coincided with Bitcoin's price hitting record highs in October amid crypto-friendly regulation globally and the rise in Bitcoin treasury companies. However, China has not officially relaxed its Bitcoin mining and trading curbs. Hong Kong emerged as a favored hub for Chinese miners after the ban, but it seems mining is returning to mainland China amid the AI boom. As the Coin Republic reported earlier, Japan witnessed a notable rise in Bitcoin mining amid crypto adoption. Canaan secured a 4.5 megawatt order from a Japan-based utility. Now, will Bitcoin's price rebound? Well, resurgence in Bitcoin mining could act as a demand and price support for the world's largest crypto asset. According to Crypto Quant, China contributes 15 to 20% of the global Bitcoin mining capacity currently. And at the same time, Bitcoin's price has held above $86,000 in the last 24 hours, and the 24-hour low and high were $85,000 and $88,000 respectively. Furthermore, trading volume has increased by 56% in the last 24 hours, so this indicates massive interest among traders amid a rise in Fed rate cuts and hopes, because that's still on the table too for this coming month. Now, analyst Michael Van de Poppe expects Bitcoin's price to close the CME gap at $85,500 and then recover to the 20-day moving average at $95,000. Now, if it fails to reclaim, Bitcoin could see a deeper correction, and the key support levels are 75,000, 56,000, and 52. So these are the support levels in case we do not take that average. But 75, it's pretty much like I'm calling like the previous all-time high. We do know Bitcoin's all-time high was like 76,000 last time, or we're going after the previous one, 74. But again, like with the Bitcoin's price, if we do go down, like I am kind of expecting that, but again, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. We could go to 95, or it just dips back down. So yep, we're just watching the markets and playing the game, but it's still fun. So that is basically Bitcoin mining news in China, though. It's like they are still making their way back as the third world's largest Bitcoin miner, despite its ban. And yeah, so they may still continue growing, and this could change the narrative too. So actually, that could be a big narrative change too, or a catalyst point. If China announces that they're unbanning the ban rule against Bitcoin mining, that would definitely cause Bitcoin's price to go up. It would also increase the hash power and the strength it takes to actually mine Bitcoin and whatnot. And so that's just going to make the network even more secure too. But again, we don't want them to dominate the position. That's for certain. So yeah, that's what's going on in Bitcoin space. We got Jpmorgan basically shaking up the market. They could be done. And then we got that solo Bitcoin miner, because again, you guys should totally have one of the solo miners out there. It's just, it takes such a little energy, just have it running. And then who knows, it could be a lottery ticket. You may wake up one morning with 3.125 Bitcoin until it's the next Bitcoin halving. But yeah, let's take a quick commercial break, guys, and then we'll be back with some, I think, altcoin news. What's going on in the altcoin space? So we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, I clicked it once.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we are back. So welcome back, guys, to the show where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on. And yes, we are sponsored by Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club and all of our programs. So if you want to know more about it, go to bitcoinben.io for more information, or give us a call at 941-413-8080. And it only costs $5 to be a part of all those programs. Minus the access to the club, we got new prices at the club. So if you still want a classic membership to all of our crypto classes, one-on-one consultations, that's still $29.99 for our classic membership. But if you want to just be a part of the confidential bulk purchases, loans, home to hodl, or beef initiative, just $5. Technically, it's labeled virtual membership right now, but we got to get those guys to change it to, say, programs membership. But yeah, that $5 one gives you access to all of our programs. So nice and cheap and no long-term commitments. So yeah, so let's continue on with the news now. What else is going on with the crypto space? Looks like Tether's in the news, and looks like their gold reserves explode past $10 billion, pushing it into the global top ranking. So new Bloomberg data reveals that Tether has rapidly climbed into the ranks of the world's biggest gold holders, marking one of the most significant shifts in the stablecoin's issuers' reserve strategy to date. Now, gold reserves surged past $10 billion, according to Tether's reserve reports, verified by BDO and chartered by Bloomberg. The company's gold holdings have expanded sharply over the last 2 years, and the value of its gold reserves has surged from relatively steady levels in early 2023 to over $10 billion by quarter three of 2025, putting the company in the same league as mid-sized national center banks. Now, this growth reflects Tether's increasingly diversified backing model, which now includes a meaningful allocation to physical gold alongside traditional cash equivalent assets. Now, here is a chart showing Tether becoming one of the world's biggest gold holders out there, and the reserves in tons are just increasing. Now, gold holdings have risen above 100 tons. So the tonnage of gold held by Tether has risen consistently, but the steepest increase occurred between late 2024 and mid-2025. Bloomberg estimates that Tether's holdings exceeded 100 tons of gold in quarter three of 2025, a number that places the firm among the largest private sectors of gold owners globally. Now, the sharp upward slope in the chart highlights how aggressively the company expanded its bullion position, particularly in the last 3 quarters. Now, this is a shift in stablecoin reserve strategy because, Tether just doesn't hold US dollars on the balance sheet. They hold bonds, they hold cash, they hold gold, precious metals, and they also hold Bitcoin on it. So they hold like a diverse allocations to keep their Tether stablecoin back to the $1 But Tether's move into gold has been building for several years, but the latest data underscores its acceleration. Historically, stablecoin reserves focused on cash, treasury bills, and other highly liquid traditional instruments. Tether has increasingly adopted gold as a hedge against macroeconomic instability, inflation, and geopolitical uncertainty. Now, Bloomberg chart shows that both gold reserves value risen toward the $12 to $15 billion range, or $12 to $15 billion range. Physical tonnage climbage past 100-ton mark. Now, this dual rise signals both rising gold prices and additional acquisitions by Tether. Now, why this matters for the crypto market? Tether's USDT remains the largest stablecoin in the world, and its reserves composition plays a central role in the market confidence. Now, by accumulating gold at the unprecedented levels, Tether appears to be positioning itself for global macro uncertainty while strengthening the perception of USDT stability. Now, at the same time, becoming one of the world's largest private gold holders introduces a new layer of influence for the company beyond the crypto economy. So this is definitely bullish news for Tether. And precious metals have been rising. Like, what's silver at? $42? It's like, when did that happen? So, with Tether increasing that, just again, it gives the perception that, the stability of them, it's fine because you're not just relying on like other assets. If it was a fully Bitcoin-backed stable coin, that might have not done too well because in case the price goes down, they got to fill in that reserve. But having a mix keeps them pretty stable. So that's pretty bullish news on Tether. Now let's continue with some other altcoin news in the space. Looks like Cardano suffered a temporary chain split from a code bug, but ADA hangs on. So let's hear about this. I think this happened on Friday, but I didn't really hear about it, but I saw it pop up and thought I'd share the news with you. So the Cardano blockchain network suffered a temporary chain split on Friday due to an old software bug triggered by an abnormal transaction. So the Cardano network suffered a temporary chain split on Friday due to a malformed delegation transaction. Now, transactions to delegate ADA to a staking pool, which are valid on the protocol level, but can cause code malfunctions that affect network functionality. Now, this malformed transaction exploited an old code bug in the underlying software library used by the Cardano blockchain, resulting in a network partition due to a disagreement in how nodes process the transaction. Now, according to an incident report from Cardano ecosystem, organization Intersect staking pool operators were directed to download the latest version of the node software to fix the issue and then reconstitute the split chain into a single blockchain history. However, the split has led to concerns about orphan transactions and potential ADA double spends that have caused economic damage to some users. Now, here was somebody's tweet about that. Sorry, I know the word isn't enough given the impact of my actions, but Cardano folks, it was me who endangered the network with my careless action yesterday evening. It started off as a, let's see if I can reproduce the bad transaction, personal challenge, and then I was dumb enough to try it. So this person, Homer J, AAA, claimed to have caused the issue. Now, the exploit was caused by an ADA staking pool operator known as Homer J, who used AI-generated code to push the transaction and has accepted responsibility for causing the network partition. Now, the temporary split caused debate within the Cardano community, with some arguing that Homer J's actions helped expose critical bugs, and others, like Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson, calling it an attack on the Cardano network. So Charles Hoskinson says FBI now investigating, but markets barely notice a split. So the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigations was contacted and is investigating the incident, according to Hoskinson, in a separate video statement. And Hoskinson said that this kicked a hornet's nest, and in many jurisdictions, this is a felony. Very serious one. It's tampering with damaging a digital network. Maybe it's shift and giggles, and poop and giggles. I even said it wrong, but hey, let's keep it clean. And they think it's just fun and games. Oh, look, we kicked Charles' toy. So Charles Hoskinson is not happy about it. But these things that impact lives, money, and commerce of millions of people, it's like trying to shut down an economy and conduct a cyber attack on a nation state. He continued, and a chain split or any network disruptions are typically significant events for blockchain protocols that negatively impact the price of their native token. However, the price of ADA recorded modest declines during and after the incident, dropping from 44 cents on Friday to about 40 cents at the time of this writing. Now, the modest price decline came amid a broad crypto market downturn that began in October when a historic flash crash led to a $20 billion cascade of liquidations, the largest single-day liquidation in crypto history. But nobody noticed Cardano's network partition because nobody uses it. One user said in response to Friday's incident, "Oh, that is cold, that one incident. Like, nobody noticed it because nobody uses Cardano." Oh my gosh. But honestly, nobody did notice it. Like, I didn't even notice this because, yeah, again, like the only really Cardano coin I have is MinSwap, just the decentralized exchange token on the network. But again, I sit and forget about it, so I'm never really on the chain to really see anything went wrong. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Is Charles Hoskinson like being super upset, just uncalled for, or are you on the side where, hey, this guy found a bug that probably could have caused further issues down the road if this was never fixed? So I don't know. So what do you guys feel? Is it more on this guy Homer J solved the problem, or is Charles Hoskinson saying like, oh no, this guy is risking the lives of all these people, or not the lives, but the financial lives of all these people out there. He shouldn't have done that. But again, he exposed an issue in the network. I think that's good. My opinion, I think it's good he found it because, again, you don't want a network with bugs on it and then something bigger to happen down the road. So I say kudos to that dude. But how do you guys feel? Let me know in the comments. But that's what's really going on with Cardano. Now, in a really altcoin micro news, I covered this news article, or I covered the news on this Monad coin, or Monad, coming on Coinbase. Like, it was their first pre-sale token that they were bringing like extra features into the Coinbase exchange. But it looks like this coin just got launched. So I guess people had a pre-sale buy like a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was 1 or 2 weeks ago. But now it's live for anybody to trade. So yeah, Monad launches mainnet on Mon. Now, mainnet and Mon token as a new high-speed layer 1 enters the market. Now, again, this is no financial advice here. Do not go in this coin at all. I'm myself doing my own little experiment because I want to see how market's going to react to the first pre-sale coin. Like, it just got released. I put $26 in, and hey, I think it's up to 27 now. So yeah, again, this coin was literally just released, and usually when a coin gets released after a pre-sale, it dips. So again, I'm expecting the 27 to potentially go down to $15 if it does that, or is this still just the beginning and it's going to get a spike up and then a huge dip? Because that's what usually happens with brand new coins. So I'm just doing an experiment here, and so I'm not saying that anyone should get it. I'm just announcing in the news that, hey, this coin did come out, and let's see how it plays out. Are people who use Coinbase going to flock to this new token, hoping for a quick gain or whatnot? Well, that's what I'm trying to see in this theory. That's why I only put $26 in, 25. I'm not putting a lot in. I'm trying to just test a theory. So do not follow these actions. If you do put money in this coin, it's on you. I am not telling you to do it. Nothing is guaranteed in this crypto space. So there's a disclosure, at least to keep myself and you guys safe. But let's hear about this. So the Monad Layer 1 blockchain officially launched on November 24th, 2025, bring its long-anticipated MON token to the market with an initial circulating supply of just 10.8 billion tokens, which is just 10.8% of its 100 billion total supply. Now, the debut follows a sizable community airdrop and marks Monad's transition from a high-performance testnet into a fully operational EVM-compatible ecosystem. Now, roughly 3.3 billion MON tokens were distributed to more than 230,000 wallets during the airdrop phase, which closed earlier this month. Now, the remainder of the circulating supply largely comes from the project's public token sale, where 7.5% of MON tokens were sold at 2.5 cents per token. Now, MON entered the market with a listing price of 13 cents, giving early participants a substantial markup at launch. And ooh, that is a markup because it is currently at 2.5 cents right now. So, oof. Now, vesting locks most tokens for a long-term alignment. So, are people locking away tokens? I wouldn't do that with a brand new one. But while the circulating supply is relatively small at launch, most of Monad's tokens base remains locked under long-term vesting schedule. So I'm taking the chance to probably hopefully pull something before these guys can unlock their vesting. But investor allocations represents 19.7% of the total supply, while team allocations account for 27%, both locked with structured release aimed at preventing short-term selling pressure and encouraging sustained network development. Now, this design keeps the majority of MON off the market in the early stages, with circulating supply expected to expand gradually over the coming years. Now, let's talk actually about the coin itself. So it has a high throughput layer 1 built for Ethereum compatibility. So Monad enters the increasing competitive layer 1 landscape with an emphasis on scaling Ethereum-based applications without sacrificing performance. The chain introduces parallel transaction execution for high throughput, Monad BFT, which is a customized fast finality consensus, and Monad DB, a purpose-built data engine for rapid state access. Now, the network targets 10,000 TPS transactions per second and 400 ms block times, 400 millisecond block times, and a 800 millisecond finality, placing Monad in direct competition with speed-focused chains like Solana, while preserving EVM compatibility to attract existing Ethereum developers. Now, its testnet has already logged more than 2.4 billion transactions, setting performance expectations high ahead of the ecosystem expansion. So, yeah, let's see how this coin pulls out. If it has speeds comparable to Solana, will people make the change to try to stick with an Ethereum? Yeah, that's what EVM, Ethereum virtual machine. So, Ethereum compatible network. Well, only time will tell. But yeah, so again, I'm not telling you guys to get in this coin at all. If you do, you'll probably lose your money. That's why I'm only playing with $25. So I'm just saying, if you put money in this, you'll probably lose it. But hey, if you want to take the chance and it does do a 2x, cool. But again, that 2x will probably be instantaneous because it's a brand new coin. It could go bloop and then straight down. So play it safe with this coin. Understand your risk and reward level for this. But that's our Monad and new token release news. And here's just a little Twitter post I saw on here, is the metaverse still even around? Is anybody still interacting with it? But looks like Decentraland is still around, and I guess it's almost showtime. The Decentraland Music Festival returns with exclusive sets from Stream Native lineup of Twitch icons and digital-first artists. See you at the stage December 3rd through 6th. I forgot when I went to my last one, because I have gone through this. I have a Decentraland account, and it was fun for a little bit just playing with the metaverse. But again, it just didn't have a long term. wasn't super duper fun. I had some slowness. You do need a good computer to be able to handle this kind of actual movement. So mixed reviews on it. But again, if you're still in the metaverse space, mark your calendars, because enter the music festival, join the online community and on-chain. So, just thought I'd share that with you. But now let's go into some scam and theft news. So, in this article, looks like a San Francisco crypto holder was robbed of $11 million. So, wrench attacks are still happening, where it doesn't require sophisticated hackers, coding, or whatnot. All it takes is a burglar just overtaking you and forcing you to send him crypto. So this is what took place in San Francisco, I think, over the weekend. So let's hear a little bit more about this and how did the person actually get him to give up his crypto. So let's zoom in a little bit so we can read this together. So, in a bold home invasion, a San Francisco cryptocurrency holder was robbed of $11 million. The assailant, masquerading as a delivery person, used physical intimidation to obtain private keys and steal digital assets. Now, a San Francisco resident faced a robbery in their home by a person impersonating a delivery worker, leading to the loss of the $11 million in crypto assets. The incident occurred in San Francisco on November 23rd, 2025, so this literally happened yesterday. The robbery details that the robbery involved an assailant impersonating a delivery person who used physical intimidation to obtain the victim's wallet credentials and other devices. Now, this has been categorized as wrench attack, a growing concern for cryptocurrency holders. Law enforcement, particularly in the San Francisco Police Department, is investigating the case, and meanwhile, no arrests have been reported, and details on potential suspects remain undisclosed. Security experts advocate for robust personal security practices among cryptocurrency holders. And again, so this just shows the importance, guys. Never tell anybody how much cryptocurrency you have. It's nobody else's business. You want to keep your assets safe and protected to not make you a target. Because again, like obviously this robber knew the guy had crypto, planned out how he was going to force him to give up his private keys. So again, to keep yourself safe, just never tell anybody how much crypto you have. It's okay to say you're interested in crypto, but just never disclose how much you have. Now, the broader impact and response of this is, despite the substantial amount involved, the broader cryptocurrency market has not shown any significant financial impact of the liquidity issues. Major exchanges and blockchain and analytic firms have reported no notable changes in total value locked or blacklisted addresses directly connected to the event. But in 2025, global wrench attacks have increased significantly. With this event, experts urge crypto holders to enhance security protocols. No official statements from authorities or regulatory bodies about this specific incident have been released, emphasizing continued vigilance for crypto security. And finally, they said, based on the provided details about the incident involving the cryptocurrency holder in San Francisco, it appears that there are no available quotes from key players yet, industry leaders, or law enforcement. And again, it makes sense that there's no reports or any says, because this did just happen yesterday. So I'll probably see more articles on this coming out tomorrow, within the week, but there won't need to report on it because now we know what happened. A guy was robbed by a delivery driver, or a person pretending to be a delivery driver, and he just basically overtook him, fought him with a weapon or whatever, and then forced him to give up his private keys. So again, to stay safe from this is, I'll repeat it again, never disclose how much crypto you have with anybody. And that's it. That's how you can stay safe from this type of attack. But that is one other wrench attack that took place in the world of crypto. Now let's hear about this interesting news article where a man was arrested after a failed crypto exchange robbery with grenades. And of course, this took place in Russia. So it's going to be our final article for today. And yeah, let's hear this story. I didn't read through it, but when I just heard that he tried to rob an exchange with the grenades, I'm going, oh, this is going in the news show. So let's find out what exactly happened. So Russian police detained a man who tried to rob a crypto exchange with fake grenades, so not even real grenades, as Russia faces rising crypto-related crimes and asset thefts. So Russian authorities have detained a man who attempted to rob a cryptocurrency exchange using smoke and airsoft grenades to threaten staff members, according to reports. The suspect allegedly used the fake explosive device in an effort to intimidate employees at the exchange, and law enforcement officials stated details regarding the specific location of the incident and the identity of the detained individuals were not immediately disclosed. Now, the Russian crypto crime is on the rise. Incidents occurs as criminal cases targeting cryptocurrency holders and their owners have increased in Russia. According to security analysis, such crimes have included kidnapping, homicides that have all been linked to digital asset thefts. Now, Russian law enforcement agencies have documented a rise in crypto-related criminal activity as the value and adoption of digital currencies have expanded in recent years, and that's been according to government data. Now, the detained suspects faces potential charges related to attempted robbery, and threats through formal charges had not been announced at the time of reporting, and the investigation remains ongoing, as authorities said. Now, yeah, so it's just an ongoing case going on. Just thought I'd share this with you. But no, what I like about these, though, also, like this is like kind of like a little Easter egg in the article. like Easter egg or just a little tidbit of news. Like it is like fun news where it's like fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's like, uh-oh, should I be in crypto at all? Like, am I just going to get robbed? But again, this is just still guaranteeing that crypto is still being adopted. So like this is like from their government data, it's like crypto and its activity have been adopted as digital currencies have expanded in recent years. So even though this is a bearish news article because somebody tried to rob an exchange with fake grenades, they did it because the adoption of cryptocurrency is still rising. So if we weren't getting these news articles of people getting stolen for our crypto, then that would tell me thieves don't want to steal crypto anymore. They're over it. They're done. But they still want it because they hear it's got value. So guys, don't get shaken out by the markets. Keep holding your cryptos. Maybe not your altcoins, but Bitcoin, just keep holding it. Keep stacking it. Don't get shaken out by the market fears. If we do have a dip, by the dip, lower your dollar cost average all the way down until it rises back up, because that's how Bitcoin works. It always goes back up. Just the only difference is nobody ever likes talking about the dipping moments. They always hate that little moment when everything's going down. Friends and family are sending you memes. It's like those are the times nobody likes to talk about. But when we're in our bearish moves and we're just going very bullish, I say bearish, our bullish momentum, we're just going up. Those times people like to talk about. But I do like how this article, again, did show that adoption is still expanding and still going. So even though the man got arrested for a failed crypto exchange theft, hey, we got positive news saying, yep, countries are still adopting blockchain technology. But that's it for the news, guys. Let's take a look at our fear and greed index. Where are we at today? We are at a 12, so we are still in extreme fear territory. But hey, when people are fearful, it's a good time to buy in. Hey, Bitcoin is making its way back up to 88,000. Here's that chart. Let's refresh it. Come on, refresh. And boom. So yeah, we're at 87,900. Let's make our way back up to 90s. I would love to see that. I'm sure everyone else will too. Now, with crypto bubbles, how's the space looking? Hey, we're getting some green today in the 24 hours an hour mark, so very nice. And looks like rain is killing it with 124% gain. What even is this token? Let's see. It's been around for a while, but let's see. They just had a huge spike. What do they even do? Hold on, let's take a look. I want to take a look. So rain is at 0.8 cents. It's been around since, how long has this coin been around? Since September. So this coin came out in September, but what do they do? Why are they pumping? NASDAQ listed rain. Oh, I'll be under the about. Here we go. Rain is fully decentralized prediction market. Oh, it's a prediction market. So yeah, prediction markets are still getting some pump action there, like pumped off fun, Kalshi. So yeah, so it makes sense that that coin's still pumping because that's definitely going to be I always thought that was also a narrative that's going to do pretty well right now because everyone's talking about it, everyone's using it. But yeah, so cool. Okay, guys, so thanks for tuning in for the show. I will be back tomorrow with more crypto news. And then Wells Wednesday, just a heads up. Again, it's Thanksgiving week coming up, so our crypto club will be closed on Thursday. We'll still be open Wednesday. I'll still be here. I'll give you the news, but my flight to California leaves that evening. Yeah, that evening. So yeah, so 2 more days of crypto news, and maybe I'll do some shows while I'm in Cali, but then I'll be back the next week. So everyone have a good Thanksgiving if I don't see you in tomorrow's show or Wednesday show. But have a great Monday, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with more news. Peace.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.